your number one stop for all Buckeye football news.
What's in the box?
A boat's a boat, but the mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat.
This is such a crock of shit. Pooh-ah!
The Ohio State of Mind podcast. Turn it up. Oh, welcome back. It is Monday, the 13th of October. As always, I am Chris. To my left is my good friend Josh. This is the Ohio State of Mind podcast. And to each and every one of y'all out there, thank you for jumping on and joining us. Crazy week of college football. Arguably the best week of college football so far this year. Do you want me to just run down the line real quick, like just rapid fire them right off the line, Josh, or what do you want to do?
You can. I mean, it depends on who you are. If you're like me and you lost a shit ton of money, it was not a good weekend, Chris. So don't be rude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Way to just fucking just jam that knife in and twist it, huh?
Dude, run it down though. Run down the fucking crazy.
Rundown. Let's run down college football as a whole. You had College Game Day in the dark in Eugene, Oregon. They started that sucker at 4 a.m. here on the West Coast. You had Indiana and Kurt the Squirt Signetti going into Oregon, getting the program's first ever top 5 victory as a university. You've got Oregon, Oklahoma, Mizzou, Michigan, Illinois, Iowa State, Florida State, and Penn State all getting upset. You had Air Force versus UNLV with 7 lead changes in the fourth quarter alone. You had BYU stay perfect in double overtime with one of the more fun quarterbacks to watch in college football. You had USF bounce back and dismantle 5-0 North Texas. You had Alabama looking like the Alabama of old, and Ty Simpson possibly carving out a name for himself in the Heisman rankings here. You've got UCLA with arguably the turnaround of the year. That program is going in the right direction. You've got the Buckeyes still looking like consistently still looking like the most consistent team in college football, outscoring their opponents 221-41. You got Florida State, who fooled us again. They're the Florida State of old. You've got USC getting their first ranked win against a Big Ten opponent since 2022. You've got one of the most hyped offenses in the preseason, LSU, just looking terrible. You've got Texas Tech and all that. We'll get there. Okay. We got Texas Tech and all that big oil money looking like the best team in the Big 12 is sitting pretty in the top 10. You've got as well James Franklin making until 2031 $15 a minute, $900 an hour, $21,000 a day, $153,000 a month, and $666,000 a year, all the way through 2031. And lastly, the top 3 teams in the country, Ohio State, Miami, and Indiana, they do not play another ranked team the rest of the regular season. Yeah. And with that being said, Will, even to you as well, Will, what's the one you want to hit, man?
Dude, I don't know. They're all crazy, dude. Even the Toledo Bowling. Shout out to Eddie George too, man. Toledo was up by 21 points. Ooh. They were a 10.5-point favorite. Bowling Green came roaring back and won that game.
Ooh, I have to flip that one on.
Yeah, man, it's just,
I did not catch that.
There's Kennesaw State blew the doors off Louisiana Tech. They were a pretty a larger underdog. Eastern Michigan wasn't a huge underdog, but they were an underdog, and they won. Clemson they look like they're roaring back. LSU, I thought LSU looked pretty good, to be honest with you. I know that they put the clamps down on South Carolina. I don't think South Carolina's horrible. But yeah, man, there's some madness in the Big Ten. I don't want to dive too much into that because I know we're going to get to that when the scheduling starts. But we learned a lot about a lot of teams. I mean, do you want to do that? Do you want to just go over the Big Ten schedule from last week and see what our takeaways are?
We can do that. You said a couple teams roaring back and getting right on the right path. One I did forget. It looks like Texas, maybe Arch Manning got the victory they needed for some confidence in Texas, winning the Red River rivalry there.
See, that game was weird, man. I didn't bet. That was the game I didn't bet on. I was talking to a lot of my buds, and I was like, man, I lean Oklahoma here, but I'm going to sit this one out because John Mateer, I mean, dude, he broke
17 days ago. Yeah. Broke his
And it
thumb.
was like, yeah, and then they were like, he's gonna play, and I'm thinking, man, I don't how. And we
Right.
obviously we found out how shittily, right? He threw
Yes.
3 interceptions. That one interception he threw in the end zone looked
Yeah.
like something I looked like something I would throw in the video game at Heisman.
Oh,
Stone,
yeah.
trying to make a comeback. Like it was really bad, dude. So I don't know if Texas is good or back, or that was just a really, really, really stupid decision by Oklahoma. Now I don't think Oakland was going to lose that game. I want to be very clear. Even if Mateer was 100%, it was very clear Sarkisian has his number.
Right.
But I don't know if Texas is good. I don't know if that was an indicator of Texas being good.
I wouldn't say an indicator of being good. Maybe it's that confidence booster they needed. But you want to go over the Big Ten week that was last week? Go ahead.
Yeah, man. So first things first, Rutgers and Washington. Washington was favored by 10.5 points. Washington was down 10-0 in the first quarter, 13-10 in the first half. I had money on Rutgers. We talked about Rutgers last week, and Washington has. We weren't sure if Washington was good. We just weren't sure. They struggled against Maryland the week before. It looks like maybe this is just how they are, how Washington is, because they definitely look good. They look like a team who, once they figure it out, you can't really stop them. So that was something to take away there. Papa Keat come in and Texas.
There it is.
Need your respect. We'll see if Danny comes on here. My sister's husband. He all he did was shit on yours all last year. Now he's wishing for him to be back. And then obviously Ohio State plays Illinois. It was only 34-16, but I heard a lot of people say like, "Oh, Indiana waxed Illinois way worse." But if you watch that game like we did, you'll know that game was a blowout. Like at no point did you think Illinois was going to come back, right? Someone messaged me like, "Oh, well, Illinois had more offensive yards than Ohio State." That's also true, but Ohio State had 3 turnovers, pretty much already in red zone territory. You know what I mean? Like it's not like Ohio State wasn't moving the ball. It was
the biggest thing was Ohio State's starting average start position on the field. They were starting at their own 49 every down, every drive.
Yeah, so you didn't necessarily need the yards, right? You're already starting out in zone territory. And Illinois is good too. So I think Ohio State, I don't think it's biased to say that they've cemented themselves as the best school in the Big Ten by far. I think maybe not by a far margin, but I think you would have to make the only other team you can make the argument with is Indiana. We'll get there as well. UCLA continues their rising with Michigan State. I don't know what's going on with Michigan State. I don't know what's going on with Jonathan Smith. I don't know if the roster's quit on them. But they got blown out at home. That was crazy. Nebraska barely beat Maryland. I think that says more about Maryland than Nebraska.
I would agree.
Yeah, because I don't think Maryland is horrible, man. They hung in there. The second week in a row where they've hung in with someone with a team that we think is going to be bowl eligible. We thought was going to be good. On the flip side of that, Nebraska, they're pretty much, I don't want to say they're in the driver's seat, but they're in the back seat staring at Ohio State and Indiana as far as the Big Ten championship goes. You talk about Ohio State and Indiana's easy schedule going forward. I don't know if it's easier than Nebraska's. I don't think Nebraska plays anybody going on the rest of the year. So that'll be interesting. Northwestern rips off a win against Penn State. You and I we didn't predict it. I'm not going to say we predicted it, but we talked about Northwestern having a pulse. Yeah. We said Northwestern has a pulse. I put money on Penn State, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I saw this coming at all. It's absolutely crazy. James Franklin was fired. The most crazy part of all this is that Jim Knowles has played such a pivotal role in the downfall of this Penn State team.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll get there as well. Indiana and Oregon. Indiana won. I had money on Oregon. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I didn't. But also, I don't know if Indiana is good as much as I'm losing faith in Oregon. When you look at Oregon's schedule, nobody that they've beaten has beaten a Power 5 opponent.
No, and the biggest thing
Except for Northwestern now.
Well, true. The biggest thing about Oregon, man, it's like Dan Lanning really has to get them up to get them over and win.
Yeah, I know Oregon is good, right? I'm not sitting here saying that they're not good, but it's like we don't know what their flaws are yet because they haven't played anybody. They played a Montana team. They played who else did they play? They played Oklahoma State, who blows, right? They fired Mike Lindy. They played Northwestern. Northwestern's the best team. They played a Penn State team who also hasn't won a Power 4 game. Northwestern's the best team that they've beaten. That's crazy. We would have never guessed that.
Well, with that Texas win, Penn State is now still the only Big Ten team that hasn't won a Power 4 game.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
dude, that's crazy. Tom Allen. Tom Allen went to Clemson. The good call there. Iowa beat the shit out of Wisconsin. I was so shocked by that. So shocked by that. How Luke Fickell's the one that still has the job? I don't know.
It's baffling, and it's not going to get any prettier. It's just not.
They trotted out some quarterback who threw for like 20 yards and 3 interceptions. I'm like, who is? I don't even know who the guy is.
Does Fickell get on the plane with the Buckeyes after the game this week? He would.
Dude.
That would be the best case scenario, I think, after next week's game or this week's game coming up. It's Monday, so
it's crazy. It's crazy. Then you had Michigan get destroyed by USC.
Looked bad. Just looked bad.
Bryce Underwood I don't know if he. I don't know if he is the savior. I know he's showing flashes. It's just I don't.
True, and don't get me wrong. He's a young kid. He's a freshman. Let's be real. If we're talking about $13 million, and he's on pace to throw 10 touchdowns this season.
All I'm saying is Manning's getting a lot of shit, and Underwood's not, and it's like, well,
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it's last name. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, right. And one is significantly older. Manning's been in college this is his third year. This is Bryce's first. But still, Michigan just looks soft. But also USC looks good. Let's
they
not
don't look bad. They don't look bad.
By no means do I think Michigan is going to be a cakewalk for Ohio State because Michigan they just don't look like. They just don't look as good as you thought they would. But USC looks good. USC does look good. So I don't want to shit on them. Minnesota kind of struggled with Purdue. We kind of talked about we didn't know if Minnesota was good. I don't think they're good, man. They really struggle. I don't know if Purdue's good. Neither one of those teams are good. I don't know. But it was definitely an interesting week in the Big Ten.
Without question. And the game, I want to say the game that we had our eyes on the most, but I mean, there's so many to pick from for this week. But recapping Ohio State, Illinois, obviously that game ended 34-16. Obviously, we've already brought up, hey, Buckeyes got outgained on the offensive side of the ball. Average starting position for the Buckeye offense was on the 49-yard line. They were already starting all their drives at midfield. Offense, though, I mean, offense just didn't look too concerned, and that's a good thing. They didn't look too, let's go. We got to get the ball. We got to score, and that's a good thing. That's a bad thing. I take it as a good thing. They didn't take the moment, make it too big. Regardless of the two scores from Illinois here, obviously that fourth, held them out of the end zone in the first half. That's great. It was 20-3 going to half. At the same time, that goal line stance was something to marvel at. Of course, they finish off that drive with that nice little give option that put him in the end zone. Great play call, Brett Bielema. I'll give you that. That was beautiful to watch.
Yeah, but also, I don't know. Like I said, I've gotten people messaging me, and they're kind of like talking about how the game exploited Ohio State's weaknesses. And I just to give you, remember too, I took Illinois plus the points, and people that are in my circle know that I put money on the Illinois money line. I like Illinois. Dude, I just think that's more gimmicky. I mean, he had to pull a fucking reverse to get in the end zone 3 yards out or whatever. Like, fuck that. Go ahead. If you got to pull out all the side trick play to get in there, I don't know, man. And then Brett Bielema said, what did he say in this press conference? He said, when we started to go up tempo, we were gashing them. It's like, yeah, but you started going up tempo in the second half. The game was kind of already in hand. Ohio State, they were kind of just sitting back, letting it work. I'm not concerned. I was super impressed. I thought Ohio State
I'm by no means am I concerned with any facet of the Buckeye football team at a moment. I'm saying, hey, it was probably your best trick play. You pulled it out, you scored on it, but that's all there was. The second touchdown, obviously, he was on a freshman was covering a receiver on kind of a little shrug route, got in. It is what it is. It's happened. You're young. George jumped back in. Smith all good or hurt some?
That's a good question. You know what? I would keep him out against Wisconsin. You don't need him against Wisconsin.
No, that shoulder, neck, back, whatever that was there. Yeah, let's be real. Illinois had a good game plan. If they didn't have the turnovers in the close game, Illinois passing game found some holes in the secondary. Our rush didn't seem to be. No, I mean, rushing 4 had a nice turnover on a nickel blitz there. That looked nice as well. Interception didn't help any, but also, punt return or the ensuing punt from Indiana, punter goes down on a knee, ball turnover on downs. There were things, don't get me wrong, but it was nothing that the Buckeyes, were lacking in or had glaring holes or anything that's like we should raise the alarms for. I think running game still needs some work. I could see it.
And the turnovers, right? We talk a lot about gambling here, right? You're never supposed to factor in turnovers as part of your handicap because they're I don't know, man. They're 50-50 or whatever. But you do in certain situations, right? You're not supposed to count special teams, big special teams plays either. But you do when you're talking about Iowa, right? You do when you're talking about Virginia Tech. You talk about turnovers. You're talking about certain teams. I think with this Ohio State defense, that might be a part. I mean, they were flustering that offense. I thought the defensive line looked great. I don't think that there's not a snap where I saw them get blown off the ball, or at least I didn't see it two plays in a row. And Illinois' offensive line is good. They're tough. We talked about it. We talked about it last week. I ranted and raved about it. I took Illinois, and that front 4, they stood their ground and they got their pressure. And I don't know, man. I really liked what I saw. I really, really liked what I saw. Illinois is a good team. Shit is going to work for them. That's just how it's going to go down. So I came away impressed. Again, Matt Patricia is a hero. I came away super impressed with the defense. I came away super impressed with the receivers. I know people are bitching about the passing yards. Like you said, every drive started out in the goddamn red zone.
Pretty much, right?
He spread the ball out really well. Yeah, man. The running game, if you want to bitch about the running game, sure. I'll let you bitch about the running game. I mean, Bo Jackson got stifled. Like, it's a very tough Illinois team. If you want to bitch about it, you can. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a linebacker on the other side of the ball in Jacques, who'll be a top 10, top 15 guy. I think a top 15 guy. I'll be honest with you. If I want to praise the defense, I think as much as you listen to Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt talk about it, but Arvell Reese, man, Arvell Reese is playing himself into maybe a top 15 pick this upcoming April. We're talking 9 tackles, 8 solos, a sack and a half. He looked good. He looks like he's out there when he's lining up. He's reading, guards pulling this, that, and the third. He's reading everything well, and he's not taking that initial step back. He's still always that initial step forward, and he's all over the place.
Yeah, man, he's throwing dudes to the side.
Yeah.
He's throwing dudes. It's crazy, and that's the difference between Matt. I feel like I'm getting on my knees for Matt Patricia, but I feel like that is the difference between Matt Patricia and guys that we had in the past. Matt Patricia sees a talent like Arvell Reese and sees a physical freak like Arvell Reese and tries to put him in different situations to make him successful. Defensive coordinators in the past would take guys like Jack Sawyer, put him in space, or they'd take Baron Browning and make him a linebacker instead of just let him rush the passer. You know what I mean? Right. It's just, it sucks too, because especially when you look at a guy like Baron Browning, I mean, he is Arvell Reese. That was Arvell. It's just Agreed. He didn't have Matt Patricia. But yeah, man, he was throwing offensive linemen. I like I said, I was really impressed with the pressure that they got and the discipline that they had. And, he's one of them. He's one of them.
No, like I said, successful win. They go into Champaign. They come back with the Illibuk Trophy. George brought it up as well. Hey, we've got an opponent that's not exceeding any standards set by anybody in Wisconsin this week coming up. We've got, it's Ohio State. We sit here and we praise the deepest and the most developed wide receiver room in the country. Would I like to see Jeremiah Smith sit if it's a significant thing? Absolutely, because I'm not concerned. But there's that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. Yeah, it's hard to This Wisconsin blows. It's
Yes.
just it's hard to it really is. It's hard to take this game seriously because Wisconsin is just such a fucking fire, dude.
We can roll right into it. Ohio State and Wisconsin Saturday, 3:30 Eastern. Ohio State is a 27.5-point favorite. Now we know Wisconsin is nothing of a Wisconsin that we knew in the past years. We know they're arguably one of the worst teams in the Big Ten. We know that Camp Randall Stadium does get loud. In fact, we do know that the fourth quarter they're going to be jumping around, but this year I don't think it's getting loud.
No, dude.
They might not even play jump around this year.
No shit, do they not?
No, I'm just
They
kidding.
might not.
They're going to do it, but
Oh, you think so, dude? Like, fuck, bro.
yeah.
They're rough. They are rough.
But they're just going to be there like on the sidelines and like at the fourth quarter they'd just be like no, that's it.
That is a pretty fucking lame tradition if you're getting your ass kicked, bro.
Yeah.
Like, oh man. Whew. Yeah, man, Wisconsin. It's sad that the quarterbacks keep. It's sad that Billy Edwards is not good. I want to be very clear. Billy Edwards is a very average Big Ten quarterback. I talked about Luke Altmaier and I gave him praise last week. Billy Edwards is probably on the same tier as that, right? Where it's like, yeah, he should do the job and he's going to move around a lot. Maybe he's going to squeak out a couple first downs with his legs, and he's out. Daniel O'Brien was a goddamn abortion, and he's out.
Right.
And they're going to the third guy who threw 3 interceptions last week. And dude, I'm telling you, I don't think he threw. That's what I was trying to look up. I was trying to look up the stats from last week. I don't think he threw for 100 yards, bro. Maybe your internet's faster than mine.
I believe it.
I don't think he did, dude. He threw for 82 fucking yards, bro. He was 8 for 21, 82 yards and 2 interceptions. What the fuck stat line is that? And you're getting blown out by 30 points. Crazy. But Wisconsin's got good receivers, dude. We talked about Vinny Anthony at the beginning of the year. He's also their special team stud. He's got a lot of speed. He's got a lot of speed. The tight ends, God, I can't remember the name of the tight end, but he was good enough. He unseated Tanner Koziol, who was a big time transfer. He was ranked. If you go to the preseason mags, he was like the biggest transfer addition over Max Clare. He was the big guy. He was the guy that was great at Ball State last year. It's like 6'7", and he left in the spring. Rumor has it because he lost the job and went to Houston. So they have talent at the receiver position. There's a couple other guys spacing out, but when you watch them, there's guys there. When they went to when they had Jeff Lebby as the offensive coordinator, they tried to go to the Dairy Raid. Where we're seeing the reverberations of that, where they kept a lot of that speed at receiver. So it is kind of an impressive receiving group for Wisconsin team. I don't think that. So, Will, the Luke Fickell saga. I think that, to make a long story short, I don't think he was good for the job. I don't think he was ready for the job. Cincinnati at the time played in the AAC, and Cincinnati, Memphis, and I don't know, Chris, help me out here. Maybe East Carolina. Those 3 schools. Not even East Carolina, dude. You're right.
East Carolina,
the face you're making, So like Cincinnati and Memphis just have a way better. They're both in recruiting hotbeds, and they have a pretty dedicated fan base and booster base compared to the other A school. I mean, Nippert Stadium is not only the oldest college football stadium in that conference, but it's the oldest college football stadium.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like Cincinnati, it's and you get a lot of the Ohio State runoff. Cincinnati is a very very easy place to be successful. And I think that he just, look, he had Desmond Ridder going there to Cincinnati. What the fuck? That guy was a second round pick starting the NFL. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't happen, right? At other AAC schools. So I don't think he was ready for Wisconsin. I think it would be comparable to like I don't know. There's just certain conferences where it's like, oh, you look at a team and it's like, oh, well, they got it going on, and the other ones don't, right? So I think that's he was just a bad hire. And then he tried to change the identity, which you can do if you go to a shitty program. Like whoever goes to UCLA can change whatever identity you want. But Wisconsin wasn't horrible, right? And they had a bunch of fucking offensive linemen that they were still pumping in the NFL. He fucked up. He just fucked up and he's done. But yeah, it is what it is. And but back to the Wisconsin roster, but their linebackers are still your classic Wisconsin linebackers. They're quick to the ball. They're fast to the ball. They're secure tacklers. Tackle Curtis was a guy, 4 or 5 star guy Ohio State really wanted. Ended up going to USC. Has been playing really well. Christian Allegro, really well. who's the other one? I can't remember the name of the other one. He's like more their pass rush.
Okay. Yeah. No, I was going to speak on their secondary stud Hallman, but
There you go.
But at the same time, I mean, we're talking about Fickell. We're talking about the offensive side of the ball. This is a defense that almost gave up 40 to Iowa last week.
Yeah,
we're talking about Iowa.
Yeah, man. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Now, I will say Iowa has averaged a lot more points this year than in years past because of Gronowski.
Oh, without question. Yeah.
If you take out the game Gronowski didn't play, they've averaged like 35 points a game or whatever. But you're right. I mean, he is a defensive guy. We taught, and they were at home. It's just it's bad. He's just destroyed. I like Luke Fickell. He's a nice guy. Every time I've met him, he's been a very pleasant individual. I think that he is going to be a good coach somewhere. It's just I think he jumped the gun. Wisconsin is, and he got there when they were middling. It's really easy to take a middling team and make them shitty, right? He got there, the conference expanded. Now he's gonna fucking figure out the NIL thing just happened. Like he had to unpack. He had to learn how to be a real head coach really quick. I just don't think you have to do that at Cincinnati. I think you kind of just waltz in there and be like, I'm at Cincinnati. Time to beat the shit out of Tulane and Navy.
Right. No, I wholeheartedly agree with you. At the same time, you got to think. I mean, Iowa didn't do anything un-Iowa-like. Iowa went for 210 on the ground. They went for 210 on the ground. That was Iowa's identity. We're talking about, Gronkowski. He's an improvement for Iowa quarterbacks in the past. He threw for 100 yards.
Yes,
and an interception. He didn't throw a touchdown. He threw for 100 yards and a pick.
Dude, you're right. You're right.
And at the same time, they averaged 5.2 yards a play against that Wisconsin defense. So it's not looking good. And you're absolutely right when it came to Luke Fickell. It was you don't know what you got until it's gone. It's kind of that, hey, the grass isn't always green on their side. You had it absolutely, like you said, you had a recruiting hotbed of everybody who couldn't have these dreams and aspirations of being in these in a Big Ten or an Ohio State school or something of the sort, or wanted to stay close for family, this, that, and the third, and wasn't getting that look. He had it. He is a good coach. He's going to be a good coach somewhere. It's just that this is not the stage for it. And I just think it's it.
I think that to be a good coach at Wisconsin, you have to be good at all facets of coaching.
Yes.
You can't just show up and be good at one or two things. And you're able to do. You were able. You can't do that at Cincinnati now because I'm the Big 12. But when they're in the AAC, you could roll in there and be able to identify talent. Maybe be able to identify. He had Marcus Freeman and Eliano, and he had really good coaches with them too.
Yes.
And I just don't think you have to do it. You don't have to be as good, but you have to be good. You have to be good. You got to be good at Wisconsin again. So
no, I agree with you on that one as well. We got the Buckeyes 27.5-point favors. Where you leaning on this one,
dude?
friend?
Ohio State, bro. I might actually bet on this thing, dude. And I don't. How many times have I bet on Ohio State on this podcast?
Probably once this season, yeah.
I don't feel like I've done it a lot. I really don't. But yeah, man, Wisconsin fucking blows, bro. I might actually put my real money on this shit. They're fucking.
Will jumps in. Good point. I was thinking Brian Kelly coming to UC or to Notre Dame, but I think it was other stops beforehand. There wasn't another good coach that came from UC. Butch Jones.
Yeah, man. There's been a lot of coaches at UC that have gone. Butch Jones was there. Mark D'Antonio was there, and some of those guys were good coaches. I think Luke Fickell's a good coach. You still have to. You can't just have a fuck ton of talent and expect to win. Mario Cristobal has shown that, right? So there is a level where he was a good coach. But also when you go back and look at some of those seasons and look at the games that they lost. They lost to some shitty schools, A, and B, some of the games that they won, they were by like 6 or 7 points, right? Like when even Brian Kelly was there. Brian Kelly was fucking slaughtering teams. It was different. Yeah. It was just different under Fickell. It just was.
Yeah.
I think when Brian Kelly was there, they were in this Conference USA. Either way, on the same tier. You get whatever.
No, so we're taking the Bucks. Let me ask you this: are we seeing a Buckeye running back break for 100 yards this week?
Dude, maybe 2. No, I shouldn't say that. I think that this game is going to be a Julian Sand breakout game. I think I think that they're going to let it fly. I think they're going to do some fun stuff. I'm hoping I mean, I don't know. I don't know what Jeremiah Smith's health is like, right?
Right.
In my ideal head, we don't need him to beat Wisconsin. But if he's healthy, he should go out there. He should go score a touchdown. He's in the Heisman race, so you don't want to fuck that up.
Yeah,
either, right?
he's a player that if he can play, he's going to play. Obviously, wants to go out there each and every week and prove that he's the best receiver in the country. I can see an Ohio State running back breaking for 100 this week. I can see that. I can see Julian Sayin airing it out early and often. I can see that Julian Sayin plays 2.5 quarters.
Yeah. Woo. Yeah. They might let him play all 3 just to fucking pad the stats. But yeah, I agree with you. This game should be over. We should feel good by the end of the first quarter, I would say.
I would agree with you on that one. Will, maybe we see keyholes. Hate to say the upset is happening. Yeah. No, I there's my other thing. I think you're going to see some keyholes. You're going to see him in the fourth quarter of this game.
I think so.
Yeah, without question. I mean, depending on the score, you might see him at the ass end of the third, but I could see I have no problem saying you're going to see him in the fourth quarter of this game. I think you're going to see, if we can, gun to my head, you're going to see short yard situation. You're going to see C.J. Donaldson find the end zone. You're going to see, I don't think Bo Jackson by any means 10 carries, 47 yards last week. He's happy with that, and I think he knows he wants more. He has dreams and aspirations of being more of a producer on that football team. But again, like we said, Buckeye started every damn drive at the 50. So
yeah.
And of course we're going to see that defense be dominant. I'd like to see this defense. And mind you, they're still the best defense in the country. I don't think the Illinois game changes our perspective of that with 16 points allowed. But at the same time, they allowed 16 points. Before that, they were, pitching a shutout in the red zone. You're going to see this Buckeye defense step up, and be excited to play. You're going to see all of them jumping and dancing around in the fourth quarter when House of Pain hits.
Yeah, dude. This might be. I don't know. I don't know if you can fire Fickle after this game because they have to know they're going to get blown out.
No,
why would you? But yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So
no, I would agree with you. But that's Saturday. Before that, though, we got Big Ten football on Friday, my friend. We got Nebraska going to Minnesota on Fox, 8 p.m. Eastern. Nebraska, 7.5 point favorite.
Yeah, man, it's at Minnesota. Again, neither one of these teams has impressed me much. I am going to take Minnesota. There's a lot of smoke around the Matt Rhule to Penn State thing. I think that could be kind of I think that could be kind of distracting. B, Dylan Raiola has not played great, and C, it's Minnesota is at home. So I like my odds with Minnesota there. I might actually, I probably will bet this game. I'm getting a lot. That's a lot of points. That's a lot of points for two teams. I don't know if they're that far different.
I'm going to see, I'm going to take this one with 7.5 points with Nebraska. I'm going to say, here's foot, insert foot into mouth. Matt Rhule came out this last week and said, hey, we're starting to get really good at winning these close games all of a sudden. 7.5 points it's not close enough. Give me Minnesota on this one.
Yeah. And that it is odd too, because it did go up to 8.5. So that means that money is coming on Nebraska. So maybe we're wrong. This will be an interesting one to write down.
No, I could without question seeing that. Saturday at noon, we've got Washington going to Michigan. Michigan being a 5.5 point favorite. I'd be interested to see what that number was. I was going to tell you. You brought up that was Washington Rutgers game from last week. I was off Friday, and we're like, maybe we go up to Seattle. And then I looked, and I forgot that Mariners were playing Game 5 of the ALDS. Washington was playing that Friday night as well, and the Seattle Kraken were at home on Friday night, so we stayed clear of it.
Yeah, hard pass on that. I feel that.
Where's your head at on this Washington making the trip to Michigan here, bud?
I'm going to take Michigan, dude. I think Washington has looked way better than Michigan. I think Washington might be the better team, but I don't know that. And B, Michigan's still tough, and C, Michigan's at home. All right. So those cross country trips will do that to you. This spread has gone up to 6, so apparently people are agreeing with me.
Right.
So I'm cool. 5.5 is like a goddamn bargain compared to 6 too. So
no, I agree. I don't. If Washington wants to get into, I think after that loss, Michigan just rears back and doubles down that we're just a run the ball, tough nosed fucking football team. And I think that's what you're going to get out of Michigan back in the friendly confines of the big house.
Yep.
You're going to see nothing but, have we gotten a ruling on Justice Haynes? We know he went out that game.
I heard he's going to be ready to rock and roll, but what do I know?
Okay.
You know how these college injury reports go, dude.
Yeah. No.
It's we were told John Mateer was healthy.
Yeah. Without question, man. No, I see Michigan going back to what they know, what's simple, what comes easy to them. They're going to run the ball. You're going to see every bit of 50 to 55 carries in this game. That's how, between running backs and the quarterback himself, I don't see the ball going in the air a whole lot this game.
No.
Without question.
They should need to.
Will chimes in, hey, if Haynes is out, Washington's winning. We'll see.
I don't know if that's even true because Jordan Marshall's good. Marshall played pretty well.
I thought he had a good game on Saturday night. I really did. Purdue rolling in at 3:00 Eastern into Northwestern. Northwestern is a 3-point favorite. What a win for Northwestern. What something you can hang your hat on of a season after that victory they had last week. Do we see, because we're still figuring out Purdue, but Purdue's still better than we expected, better than they were last year. But at the same time, is there such a thing as a hangover for Northwestern?
I don't think so, because we talked about Northwestern has had a pulse all year. That the win surprised us. It did. It surprised me. Like I said, I bet on Penn State giving 21.5. But we talked about Northwestern having a pulse all year long. They got the shit kicked out of them by Tulane, but Tulane might be a goddamn playoff team. But everybody else, they hung tight. I mean, we talked about they didn't get blown out by Oregon either, bro. Like, they've been kind of hanging around. So
no, I see that.
Yeah, now you finally get a team that's like on your level skill wise, that you might be better than. And I do think that, I don't know if Purdue has quote unquote surprised us, but I think that Barry Odom has done a good job of adding talent, and you can see that he was the right hire. But they're still bad. They still, you know what I mean? They're still.
We've now come to realize that Purdue, in fact, does have a pulse. How about that?
Yes, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but Northwestern given 3. It's gone up to 3.5.
Ooh.
So apparently a lot of people agree that Northwestern is got a pulse. But yeah, that's where I'm going, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Northwestern at this one. Nothing about that Penn State Northwestern game looked pretty on either side of the ball, but that team to be able to go into Happy Valley, and you just saw come the fourth quarter the entire stance of Happy Valley and all of his fans in the stadium just die. They just all die. We talked about Purdue having a pulse. There was no pulse in Happy Valley come that fourth quarter. They knew it was coming. They saw 2 losses the week before, and they're like, "Oh shit, there's no way we lose a third game."
Yeah, man.
And they took it over. But give me the Northwestern. I'm interested to watch this game. Also, 3:30 slot. We've got Michigan State going to Indiana. Indiana being a 27.5-point favorite. Curt Cignetti getting Indiana's first ever top 5 road victory. Michigan looked like they were peaking, plateauing after that big overtime win against Boston College earlier in the season, and it's been all downhill from there.
Yeah, man, the spread has gone down to 27, so apparently money is coming in on Michigan State, and I don't know why. I think it's because people expect a hangover from Indiana's big win, but Indiana, they were pretty in control. Man, I'm taking Indiana, dude. Michigan State blows. Indiana's good. Hangover is not Cignetti style, bro. So
I
bet in this game.
I don't see a hangover at all with this one. I see a Curt Cignetti coach team that has for the first time sniffed their way into the top 3 in the AP poll, and the only team, there's one Big Ten team ahead of them, so they're going to go for style points. Kurt's going to do his damnedest to, because we're talking straight seeding now. He wants a home game without question. There's not another ranked opponent on the schedule. Yeah. He brought it up at College Game Day even. So
yeah, dude. And that's who I would watch out for as far as that Penn State job.
Yeah. I mean, let's be real. If you're
from Pittsburgh,
if you're part of hiring at Penn State, it doesn't. You should be fired if you don't pick up the phone for Curt Cignetti. You don't. You're done. You're done.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if Curt Cignetti is their first call. That's who my first call would be.
It's absolutely my first call is Curt Cignetti first. Then if that goes south, obviously you got to kick the tires on Matt Rule, and there's a couple other ones.
God, I would be. I don't.
I know, but you're still making the call.
Yeah, I like Matt Rule. Well, Matt Rule did play there. I like Matt Rule. It's just I hyped him up all offseason, and I'm kind of disappointed with what has happened. Of course, I say that, and like I said, they're in the backseat for the playoffs, so we'll see what happens.
No, absolutely. Will Jimson, home game scenario is wanting a bye. Yep, absolutely. There's no question about it. That's the 3:30 slot. At the 6:30 slot, we've got Oregon traveling to New Jersey, take on Rutgers. This game, Oregon is favored by 17.5. What does Oregon look like in a bounce back after that loss, Josh?
They look good, man. They're going to bounce back, dude. This line has stayed steady. I think people are scared of that country trip, that cross-country trip. I think people are also – I haven't heard a lot of people say it, but it has to be on people's mind like, man, Oregon has played nobody. But Rutgers isn't good either. I've been hyping them up every goddamn time we do this show, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of all of that Rutgers bullshit, bro. Rutgers, Army, and who else? I lose a shit ton of money on the motherfuckers every week. So, no, I'm done, dude. Oregon's going to beat that ass.
Yeah, no question. Oregon is going to do what Oregon needs to do to stay within that top 12. They're sitting at, 8 now? They're going to take this road trip. They're going to go let out some aggression. They know that they left points and opportunities on the field last Saturday. So, give me Oregon. Give me 17.5. Moving on. I don't blame you. You've got Maryland coming all the way to Los Angeles to take on the new and rejuvenated UCLA Bruins. Bruins being a 3-point favorite. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern. Who we got?
I don't think I'm going to have the balls to bet this game. I'm going to take UCLA because it's a cross-country trip, and they do. Nico looks good. Nico looks like Nico, bro.
Rejuvenated.
Yeah, bro. So I'm going to take UCLA. I think Tim Skipper is actually he's making a case to be the full-time head coach. Maryland's look good too. So I get, like I said, I don't think I have the balls to actually put my own money on it, but I'm going to take UCLA. The line has not changed either. So apparently everybody's looking at this going, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Skipper's doing a great job. Also, new Heisel's boy being, calling the plays. He's out there looking like young Josh McDaniels. He's doing quarterback and running back shifts and direct snaps for touchdowns and shit like that. But give me UCLA, regardless of what I think or if I'm changing my tune based on these last 2 weeks. The road trip alone is going to give them a 3-pointer on this one, I think. So,
yeah.
7 o'clock as well. Penn State at Iowa. Iowa, a 3.5-point favorite. 7 p.m. Eastern. What do you think about that?
Dude, I think I'm going to bet this game. Okay, it's gone down to 3. It's gone down to 3. So apparently people are thinking like me. You're going to give me Penn State getting points at Iowa. It doesn't sound like a good bet now. But if you look at it like a stock, you're buying low, baby.
No, absolutely.
The spread was going to be 4 touchdowns, dude. So, yeah, man, give me Penn State. They got to bounce back. Maybe they'll get some juice from new interim coach Trey Smith, which is so funny.
Isn't that wild?
It kind of right because why would you not go to Kotelnicki? Kotelnicki interviewed for the West Virginia job. He was almost out of there, and now they basically made peace with the fact that everybody's going to be gone. So that's fine. Whatever. I'm still taking Penn State.
No, absolutely. I'll be honest with you. I'm looking at it now, and we had Iowa last week score 37 points. What were the last 3 games out of Penn State? We got 37 against UCLA and they lost. 21 against Northwestern, they lost, and 24 against Oregon and they lost.
Yeah.
So no, I'm with you on the same one here. Give me those fucking points. I am interested. I'm interested. I want to see, because this is a night game. This is everybody and their brother on this Penn State team came back. Everybody and their brother, everyone who donned that blue and white, said this was the season. There are a couple different times you and I are on this podcast. We're like, how do you not take Penn State this season?
I know.
How do you not? How do you not take them as the favorite?
Especially in a landscape, a college football landscape, returning starters and chemistry and momentum have always been an integral part of building your locker room. But now we're dealing with mercenaries, and you're seeing, because that's basically what happened at Florida State, right? Is that they get all these mercenaries, they get all these good players, and I think Norvell's actually a good coach. But when they lose and they're out, the whole entire team goes, "We're out." and then they start looking at the portal, right? They quit, they give up. You don't expect that from a Penn State team where they've all been there, they've all won. I mean, they got a couple transfers, but that's not the backbone of the team.
No.
You know what I mean? But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everybody's like that in the new age NIL. I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to monitor.
It's wild. Will says, I heard Knowles was going to be the intern. Wouldn't it have been great to see the post-game handshake between him and Ryan Day? Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we can sit here and talk about, we're sitting here and talking about this week. I mean, it becomes murder's row. You get Iowa, who's starting to look good, who almost put up 40 points, which is something to marvel at with an Iowa offense. But then you got to go to Ohio State, and then you've got Indiana.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
and
we're
talking about
Nebraska's.
they're
talking. They're
talking 3 losses in a row, and then you've got Iowa, Penn State, or Iowa, Ohio State, and Indiana. Is there a possibility that they lose 5 out of the next 6?
Yeah,
5 of the last 6, as I was,
Yeah, there is that is a real possibility.
And there's nobody, there's not a soul in the country before the season started that had that on their bingo card. Not a chance.
None of those last games are guaranteed wins at this point, right?
No,
because Michigan State and Rutgers, those teams are the 2 teams that there's going to be an obvious talent advantage in your favor, but you're playing them away. You're playing them away.
Agreed.
Right. So that goes out the window. I don't know, man. It's crazy. What do you think? Do you think that the reason why this team looks so bad is because we are in the NIL era and these players are cashing out and ready to move on, or?
There's that. You and I have sat on this podcast last year that we enjoy Andy Kotelnicki as an offensive coordinator as well.
Yeah.
And there's times where he calls a couple head scratchers and
sure.
has us thinking. We're not going to sit here and we always sit here and the media blows up Drew Aller just to bring him back down, just to bring him up, just to trash him again. I just don't see anything that's resemblant of a functioning offense. They've got a lot of great players, but they just look so disjointed as an offense.
Yeah, dude, and the focus has been Drew Aller too, like you said. But think about it. We'd have to look at it. But like Nick Singleton, that guy's basically on the back burner, dude.
Yeah,
and that was he was a guy who was because Katron Allen's getting all the carries. And that was a 2-headed monster. And now you're talking about just removing. It's weird, man. It's
2 1,000-yard rushers from last year.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and the one was limited to like 5 carries a couple weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they've moved on from him. It's just strange. It's just the whole offense. Like you said, it's just everybody that you thought was going to be good wasn't. And their defense as a whole has taken a huge step. It's just weird. It's just super weird.
No.
I don't know if we've ever seen a bigger – because, again, Florida State was justifiable because you had all those dudes that didn't want to be there. Or they were only there. They were only there because of the portal. I don't think we've seen a fall like this, where it's like most of the roster is pretty organic, right?
Yeah, and it's not so much that it's organic. It's like, hey guys, I'm coming back. Like, oh, you're coming back. I'm coming back.
Man.
Hey, we tasted the college football national championship, and that taste is still pretty bitter in our mouth, and it's just blunder after blunder.
It blows my mind that not many people are talking about the Jim Knowles connection. Jim Knowles is a good defensive coordinator. He is, okay? But I didn't like him when he got hired by Ohio State. I didn't. And the reason I didn't is because his defense is gimmicky and it takes time to work. They fucked up. They fucked up big time. And no one's talking about it. It's so weird. It's so weird that no one's talking about it.
Yeah. And last game on that Big Ten slate, we've got USC. We've got the Trojans going to North Bend. They're going to take on Notre Dame. This is a 7:30 game. I assume this is the big NBC game of the week.
Yes.
Notre Dame is a 7.5-point favorite. I don't know if that line has changed at all. Has it, my friend?
Yeah, dude. It's changed to 9.5 now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm still taking Notre Dame, though. I think Notre Dame beat the shit out of North Carolina State. CJ Carr is playing out of his mind. Kind of a dark horse Heisman guy. USC's looked really good too. I'm probably not going to bet this because USC has shown flashes of being really good this year. So I'm gonna, gun to my head, Notre Dame.
No, I'm with Notre Dame as well. You know, we sit here every single year and we always sit here and scratch our heads like, how is Notre Dame ranked this high? And we don't have to open this whole can of worms of the preseason rankings. You and I have sat here and agreed there shouldn't be a thing as preseason rankings until what, week 6, week 7, week 8, or any kind of rankings as I was. But looking at Notre Dame, they've got, you know, 2 losses against 2 pretty good teams.
Yeah.
And looking at their schedule, if anyone were to tell me, hey, Notre Dame's going to win out, I wouldn't bat an eye at you.
No, not at all. Not at all.
One bit. Not one bit. And you're right. Actually, Carr is quietly putting on an absolute show over there. And
Yeah.
He looks good. Marcus Freeman is, you know, he took his lumps early. He ran into, let's be real, they lost a very, very close game to a very good Texas A&M team as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people are quickly jumping back on that hype train with Mike Elko over there. But Marcus Freeman's got him bouncing back and got him playing good football. And I'm taking Notre Dame on this one without question. 7.5. Let's go. Let's ride on that one, my friend.
Yeah.
That is the all of Big Ten Week 8. Let me ask you, everything. What stood out to you this week that we haven't talked about? Such a crazy week, other than you losing money and this, that, and a third.
I mean, we've really talked about every. I mean, the SEC screw job referees.
Yeah, that was something, huh?
You know, I thought it was pretty clear that Auburn scored a touchdown there against Georgia.
I
and
agree.
then they also had that timeout clapping fiasco that occurred.
Yeah, with Kirby Smart.
Yeah, there was a bullshit targeting call against Missouri when they were playing Alabama. It felt like the SEC's refereeing was very if you're a conspiracy theorist, you really love this weekend. Let's put it that way in the SEC. Right. You know, the Penn State job is going to be a super fascinating watch because there's a lot of guys that played there that are going to be up for the job and see how they react. Like we talked with Kurt Signetti's from Pennsylvania, right. Al Gold, the defensive coordinator for the Bengals. He played at Penn State. Manny Diaz, he was the defensive coordinator at Penn State a couple of years ago. You know, he's done a great job at Duke. He'll be up for it, so that'll be something to kind of monitor as well. But yeah, man, we pretty much covered it all, I think.
No, I agree with you on that one. I think at the same time, what was my, you know, I caught myself. I brought it up because let's be real, no one talked about it, but I found myself fascinated watching the BYU Arizona double overtime game this last night because I like watching that BYU quarterback Bachmeier, number 47.
Bear
Bachmeier.
Then he passes to his brother. What's his name of his brother? Tiger.
Something like that. Yeah, it's obscure, but that was a fun game to watch, man. And I said it before as well. UNLV Air Force watching 7 lead changes in the fourth quarter. What a obscure football that you wouldn't, unless you're waiting for another game on and you're just flipping channels and turning it on.
So that one is interesting. That one is super interesting because UNLV is undefeated, right?
They are.
Yeah, they're undefeated, and they've been losing in. I bet on UNLV a couple times because they got Dan Mullins down there, which is a great hire, by the way, great hire. But UNLV lost a lot of pieces because Barry Odom went to Purdue, right? And they were losing to like Idaho State by like 10 points, by like double digits, and Idaho State blows. But then they came out and stomped them. I think they were losing to UCLA, stomped them, end up winning that. Like you said, they were losing to Air Force. It's just weird. That one is weird. That one is weird. Yeah. That one does need to get brought up because UNLV, are they going to be in the playoffs? Like, they're not good. They're not good. Like, it's really weird. Like, they just keep fucking trudging along. Them, San Diego State's another team that's like not good, but they're kind of in the driver's seat of that mountain. Mountain West is super interesting this year. Hawaii beat Utah State. And they threw for like 400 yards. You know, Bronco Mendenhall's at Utah State, who's not pathetic. Yeah, man, the Mountain West is fascinating this year for sure.
Will says, I have to ask, are the chances that Penn State talk to Hartline? I don't think – I'll give all the credit and credence to Brian Hartline, but I don't think they get that far down on their call roster or want roster to have to reach to Brian Hartline. It is Penn State, but
Agreed.
I don't think they they go that far down the tree. No, man, we're right underneath an hour. It was an awesome week of college football. Is there anything outside the Big Ten that you're looking forward to this week, my friend?
Dude, I think we got Tuesday night football, right? We got Tuesday night football and Wednesday night football. It's bad. I apologize. I haven't been paying attention. Usually I'm much more ahead of the game at this point. But I think that we got like a nice we got 3 games tomorrow. New Mexico State, Liberty, Arkansas State, South Alabama, FIU, Western Kentucky.
Okay.
I'll be betting all 3 of those games, but I don't know if any of that excites you. But Friday is a really good slate. You got Louisville, Miami.
Right.
We've seen Louisville do some upsets before, so that might be one to pay attention to. Cal and Bill Belichick. Cal versus Chapel Bill.
Yeah, that's. I still haven't been able to. Yeah, that is actually a pretty good Friday slate. Good call, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. You got Louisville, Miami, Nebraska, Minnesota, San Jose State, Utah State, and then North Carolina and Cal.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's a lot of good. It's going to be another great slate, dude. Another great. I'm looking at this slate of games, and it's going to be fun.
We're going to look at, by year's end, if we can. How do we sit here and say, hey, there's a undefeated Georgia Tech or an undefeated BYU? Or should they be knocking at the door for the college football playoffs?
Well, yeah, of course. Especially if they win their conference. If you say that they're undefeated and they lose their conference.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, man. I got no problem with that, dude. Because I mean, both those conferences have some pretty top heavy talent. Let me. What are the standings right now as we see? Let's pull this up.
No, I mean, because they're playing tooth and nail football and they're undefeated. You know what I'm
saying?
Yeah,
man. Because BYU and Texas. First of all, BYU, Texas Tech, and Cincinnati are still undefeated in the Big 12. Texas Tech and BYU are undefeated. Texas Tech has been just running through the Big 12. I mean, that's arguably a top 5 team. So if BYU and Texas Tech meet in the Big 12 championship, you got to think both of those guys are going to make the playoffs. Now, if Cincinnati squeaks in there, that might be a different story. But even Cincinnati, they've only lost 1 game, and it was to Nebraska. So it's a super interesting conference. I don't know how. Cincinnati's, I wouldn't call them good, but whatever. And then the ACC, you got Georgia Tech, Miami, and Virginia that are all still undefeated within conference. And I've peeked at all 3 of their schedules, and there's nothing like – there's definitely some like hiccups, like teams like Louisville that are roadblocks, but no like like Indiana, Oregon, like that was circled. That's been circled on the calendar for 7 years.
Agreed.
There's nothing like that left, right? But I mean, all 3 of those teams. I mean, you saw Virginia knock off Florida State. I wouldn't call them good. That's probably their conference, Cincinnati. But Georgia Tech and Miami. Who am I? Who am I to say they're not good? Miami's not the shit out of everybody. And Georgia Tech's done. They played great and they were good last year. They took Georgia to 6 overtimes with the playoffs.
Right.
As long as that quarterback stays healthy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That quarterback Justin Haynes, is absolutely a stud. That was the week. It is Monday. We got football Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We got football every day this week. Monday through Sunday, we've got football, and back to Monday. Hell, best time of the year. You got the baseball playoffs are going on. You've got hockey's back, college football, NFL. October's the best month of all sports.
Well, I don't know if you saw this, Chris, but
go ahead.
Columbus is getting a professional football team. It's official. The Columbus Aviators of the UFL, baby.
Ooh, look at you!
Dude, I'm stoked, bro. Season tickets gonna be like $100. It's gonna be like $20.
Yeah, I know. You're gonna be getting in on the ground floor, huh?
Oh, dude, super stoked. Super stoked. I was a little disappointed by like the reason they named the team. Like it made I think that the name is cool. But the guy was like, I don't know, isn't there like a bunch of airplanes and aren't the Wright brothers from Ohio? Like that was like,
there it is.
Damn, dude, like there's other reasons. It's a cool name, but you kind of didn't put a whole lot of thought into it, did you?
Well, the Columbus corn chips didn't fucking market well. Okay, yeah, no, I get you. As always, each and everybody that jumped on, we appreciate you. In the comment section, we hope you have a great week. We'll see you next week. George, awesome to hear from you. We will be back next Monday Same time, same YouTube channel. You get a second, go ahead and give us a like, comment, subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. It helps out our algorithm. We love hearing from you, and we will be back next week. And of course, as always, go Bucks.